This is J&T's Backyard Bowl.
Hello and welcome to Backyard Bowl. I'm Jay, and I could safely say that I have never successfully pulled off a cover-up.
Never ever?
There was that one time in kindergarten where I managed to blame Timmy for some glue sticks.
Oh, the glue stick incident we don't speak of.
Yeah.
I
let's
see.
not speak about that.
And I'm T, and dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous that I don't have a Netflix documentary
Well,
headlined for me yet. And I really wish I did, especially after watching this AOC one.
for what it's worth, you're not a pretty congresswoman, so...
That's true. Maybe that's what I need to be.
And also, a revolutionary in our own time.
Yeah, yeah, all of the things.
I should have led with that one.
Yeah,
Oh well.
it'll be fine.
So what are we getting into this week, man?
Dude, we got a lot. It's going to be a pretty hefty podcast. So we're going to lead off here with a little... We're going to look into the Trump crime family, as we've come to call them. We'll talk a little bit about some legislation that's going on out in California. And then, what do you got?
Well, then we have our all-time least favorite, tantrums. Talking about how Trump gets into praising North Korea for launching fucking, projectiles towards Japan, which is against every single fucking agreement that we've ever made. We're also going to get a little bit about his whole total transparency.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
That doesn't actually really exist.
Yeah, we'll run through those tantrums pretty quickly, and they're not that bad this week. And then we're going to hit this main story that is going to be the is-all, be-all, know-all for William Barr this week.
Oh, yeah. Or, as I like to call it, Barr, A Sketchy History by J&T.
Trademark.
Trademark. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. The book will be released in October.
Yeah, look for it at the local Barnes & Noble. But then what do we got after that juicy main story?
So after our juicy main story, we're going to finish it off with a tasty dessert of a little something new, actually. We're going to hit some science topics that we haven't really shown any love to.
Yeah.
So we're going to be getting into some deep sea, what would you call that?
Marine biology.
Marine biology, yeah. And then also a little bit of some ancient human history, as well as some crazy fucking new future tech in the aspect of neural prosthetics.
Oh, a word I didn't even know before today.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. We got a lot of podcasts to get to before we get to that happy science time, and some of it's not so happy. So,
Yeah, most of it's not too happy.
that being said, man, you ready to bowl?
Let's bowl.
All right. Well, first up on the headlines this week, man, is the aforementioned Trump crime family. This is pretty much the way I'm going to refer to them from now on when we're talking about them as a group.
I don't see how you couldn't.
Yeah, right. Obviously, the president, Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka all filed a lawsuit this week against Capital One and Deutsche Bank to ensure that those financial records that those banks hold do not get released to the Southern District of New York. Can't have that stuff.
Yeah, weird for the rich billionaire that he is, the super rich business guy that's super successful, bigly successful, if you will.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I think that, like, having your financial records out there, like, oh yeah, flaunt them. I mean, it's one of the reasons they got you elected, because people, like, know that you're, like, this great businessman.
Right?
Nothing
to hide?
Yeah. Like, why would you hide that?
Exactly. At every turn, they fucking find some reason to hide these things that he's always been saying are his pinnacle achievement type things.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, like, if you have all these pinnacle achievements, all like this, like, you have all this money and you're this great businessman and you have all this fucking great fucking deals and everything like that, well, like, present them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think some of it got there already. Like, before they could get the lawsuit in, they had already subpoenaed the banks and gotten some of it. But that's the whole reason for this lawsuit, is to just cut that off at the head. Whatever they got, but let's not let them get every fucking thing. I'm sure it's extensive. The Trump crime family is not something that just started happening in 2016.
I know they eventually had to go to Deutsche Bank because there wasn't very many lenders over here in the U.S. That would actually loan to them.
Yeah, there's a reason that they went to Deutsche Bank. Like, sorry, we don't give money to people that don't pay their contractors.
Yeah, the Trumps are not allowed to bank here anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, we're not gonna, like, foreclose on you because, like, if you fail, we fail, but, like, we're not giving you any more money, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fine, we'll just go overseas.
Yeah. And then that sends you down the rabbit hole that is the collusion, fucking Russian interest thing.
Yeah,
we've talked enough about that on this podcast, I think.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it more during the main story, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on. So, a few nights ago, I had a little bit of free time. And I did what every red-blooded American does. I got on Netflix, and I searched for like half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like an hour.
Spend all your time perusing
the
selection.
And looking for something that was short enough time for me to watch before I had to go to bed. Mm-hmm. But I spent the whole time watching, so, like, I ended up not finding anything, really. But I did come across something. AOC has a new Netflix documentary.
Yeah, she does. Knock Down the House.
Yes.
Is the title.
I didn't watch it because, I didn't have enough time, and I ended up going to bed. Well, I watched an episode of Office first, but...
You can't open Netflix and not at least watch an episode of The Office.
Yeah.
Like, just pick any episode, and it's going to be a good day.
You watched it, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I found some time today. I checked it out. It's actually really good, man. It's awesome, and it's a real little guy, or in this case, little gal, versus the huge political machine that is the establishment. Little person. There you go, yeah. Kind of come from behind, just fucking start from nothing, victory. We know, it's no secret that she's in Congress now, so spoiler alert, she won. But
she made it.
Yeah. It's really, really good. It's worth your time, and I think it's probably an hour and a half long.
So what you're saying that it shows, like, her whole campaign and the story of her, like, deciding to run and go up to that and do it and actually win.
It's the bartender roots to the campaign stand-up to the hard-fought battle and a lot of hard work canvassing around New York on foot. Like, dude, she earned that victory.
Oh yeah,
in the very best way and the most honorable way that you really can.
Oh yeah, I've said it from the beginning. AOC is literally one of the only people's quote unquote congressman.
Yeah,
congressperson.
Yeah, and we had spoke about this a little bit before, that I know you share this sentiment that I hope that this type of thing and documentaries like this make people like her the new normal. That you're represented by people who are like you.
Well, yeah.
Not by fucking people who went to Yale and got a law degree, or Harvard and got a law degree. Everybody got a fucking law degree. And the ones that didn't get a law degree got an MBA.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yale,
all lawyers.
Harvard, and all these folks that are coming out of there. Like, I mean, that's all well and good, and I love that. But at the same time, like, usually the people that go to Yale and Harvard are multimillionaires. Like,
Yeah.
they haven't known a fucking hard day in their life. They never worked fucking food service or fucking worked behind the bar as a bar back or a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how it is.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I love AOC.
Yeah, so out of touch with regular ass people, middle class or lower than middle class people that share these same problems that you know and identify with, and she knows and identifies with a lot of these people's problems.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that like I really talk to, when a Republican or a conservative really like starts talking hardcore shit about AOC, it's like, okay, dude, yeah, I mean, I get you, like, you know, like certain aspects about her policy and stuff like that, but you do realize that like she's closer to you, like on like how you live.
Oh, way more in common.
You have way more in common
More.
with her than you ever have with Mitch motherfucking McConnell or Lindsey Graham.
Really,
or
yeah.
these
95% of the lawmakers in Washington.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are billionaires.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like to like, you know, live paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly.
Or fucking, you know, have a bill go like into fucking like, you know, overdue.
Yeah, collections.
Or have a check fucking overdraft.
Or you're one,
you know?
you're one like serious hospital visit away or broken bone away from like having to file bankruptcy. Like those people, those people wouldn't even understand. They would look at you in bewilderment at even the prospect of that. Like, what do you mean you have to file bankruptcy because you broke your arm? Why? Just work harder. Just pull your bootstraps up.
Yeah, just take it out of your fucking trust fund.
Yeah.
Or why don't you just fucking pull it out from your annuity funds that you have set aside and just use that to pay for your leg?
Did you try calling your millionaire dad? Like, oh no, not everyone has a millionaire dad. Not everyone's fucking born and bred to live the Washington lawmaker lifestyle.
Yeah. So, moving on, because that'll just send us down a whole
we'll be way more
long tirade.
We'll be way angrier than we need to be going into tantrums later. And I want to be at my least angry because I'm going to leave that pissed off.
Well, this should make you less angry. Let's talk about this one.
Yeah, this is a good one, man. So California, they just passed a bill in the Senate. It hasn't been signed yet by the governor, Gavin Newsom, there in California. But I don't see any reason why he wouldn't sign it. And what it is you don't release your tax returns, you are not on the general election ballot. Your name's not even there. Like, there's no bubble. We don't print your name on that ballot anymore because you're not letting us know what the fuck you're up to. Or not up to, you know.
Exactly. So I think this is like if this passes, well, first off, I think it's not the only one that's passed. I think also Washington might have.
I believe you're right.
Might have passed this as well. So if you have Washington and California, man, that's a whole large amount of the popular vote.
Oh yeah, and that's the big one. That's the big takeaway here is we're gonna win those states, right? Like those
are obviously going to Democrat.
Yeah, they haven't voted non-Democrat like fucking ever, and they probably never will because they're too progressively minded to even consider a Republican ticket. But the big difference maker here, dude, is Trump's throwing a fucking hissy fit, and we already know he's like the most petty president ever, judging by, you know, my crowd was bigger than Obama's crowd. Like,
yeah, baby,
calm down, whiny baby. But
yeah,
he complains about the popular vote loss to Hillary that was only, what, like 2.5-3 million votes. You take his name off the ballot in California and Washington, that number skyrockets. That's not 3 million anymore.
Oh, no.
That's at a bare minimum probably 10 or 15 or 20 million votes that you just lost the popular vote.
Oh, yeah.
In this instance, because you won't release your tax returns. But
Well, let's face it here, because like the difference between coloring in a dot and writing in Donald J. Trump,
yeah,
I'm gonna say that like the amount of supporters that he has, and I'm not saying that like there's like not a whole lot. I mean, there will be a whole lot of write-ins, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that you get a way a lot more voters if all they have to do is a circle instead of write the name.
black it in, and you're done.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people this is going to do.
Americans are lazy. Let's just
we know
we're lazy fucks.
We know this, and we're willing to admit this about ourselves.
Yeah.
We're lazy-ass motherfuckers, and Donald J. Trump is a lot more to write than a little scratch mark inside of a bubble.
And I don't think he's really worth that many letters to write.
Yeah. Or how many constituents within California and Washington know, like, his first name.
Yeah, they might get it wrong.
Yeah.
That'll probably be a fucking... No shit, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, like, a lawsuit, like, at the end of this, like, when Trump loses, and he's like, well, I wasn't on the California fucking ballot, and they didn't fucking count everybody, and, like, you know, like, they didn't count all the Trumps. You know, like, somebody only just wrote Trump.
I lost in California to Ronald K. Trump, and I want to know who this son of a bitch is. Who's running against me? Like,
oh, God.
Just people who only know Trump and identify Trump with Trump. You know, just Trump.
Yeah.
That's what all the campaign signs say.
I mean, does that count if you write Trump?
I don't know.
It's just his last name.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Hypothetical situation, it could actually be Ronald. You know? So I don't know. I would think no, but I don't know.
We'll have to see on that front. Moving right along, we have Trump calling his boss.
His boss?
Oh, I'm
He's
sorry.
the president.
Trump calling President Vladimir Putin of Russia.
Okay. His boss.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I get it. No, his boss, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it now.
Yeah, okay. So, this was a hour-long conversation of them getting together and talking about their favorite subjects. They talked about trade and Venezuela and how obviously those guys are both on the same side even though they're not, and how the Russia probe was really nothing, and basically it was just Trump lying on his bed, kicking his feet, fucking twirling his finger around the phone cord. Oh yeah. Tell me how it was a hoax. Yeah, I know, totally, right? So you're totally gonna help me in 2020, right? Please.
Right.
God, please.
Do what you did in 2016.
Yeah. Whatever you did in 2016.
Russia, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Are you there, Putin?
Exactly. Fucking 16-year-old girl writing in her diary. Mm-hmm. Vlad was really nice today. He didn't say anything mean to me or demean me. I just wish we could run our democracy the way he does, even though it's not a democracy.
Yeah.
Lock Jim Acosta up now. Right now.
Yes.
Torture him.
I would love to torture Jim Acosta. That's the only thing I want for Christmas.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what goes on in those phone calls. With not just Putin, but all foreign heads of state that Trump talks to, because he's so inarticulate and by the hip. Fucking random nonsense.
I feel like if you gotta have a side-by-side of how those go down, those could probably be the comedic effect would be probably able to be just broadcasted on SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be that different than the real thing.
No, you could actually broadcast the real thing
Oh, the
on
actual.
SNL.
I see what you're
and
saying.
people would think that it's like, oh yeah, like, that's just fucking,
Like, SNL with their satire.
Yeah, that's
they're
satire.
so good, and they've really got Alec Baldwin looking a lot more like Trump now.
Yeah. But, they got the
But
video
it's
conferences.
actually Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
and it's just a bunch of this, just like pinching their brow, being like, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah. It put a lot of comedy writers out of business real fucking quick because it'd be like, well, this shit's hilarious, and no one had to do anything.
Right.
One phone call had to be made, and this dude's fucking talking to this guy like a 16-year-old girl, fucking twirling his hair, like he said.
Yeah. Twirling that toupee. No, really? OMG.
What do you do with the journalists when you shut them down? Oh, you murder them? Oh, Vlad. No.
You're so naughty. Wow.
Right?
So how do you do that and get away with it? Really?
He's already showed us that that's pretty much what he aspires for. And that leads us right into the tantrums, actually.
That it does.
Because we got another foreign dictator here that he's sort of given a shout out to.
Or has a little crush on.
Yeah, well, he said on the campaign trail that they fell in love. That he wrote him beautiful letters, and they fell in love. Him and Kim Jong-un is who I'm referencing here. But,
Should Melania be worried?
dude, I don't know what she worries about. There's so much to worry about. That, like, I don't know what her priorities are on the worry scale. But
I'm pretty sure if I was Melania, I would be just checked out of life.
she's probably just waiting on him to die. She's probably hoping that the presidency will age him in the way it does other presidents who actually work during their presidency.
Yeah.
By the end of 8 years or 4 years, hopefully 4 years, but by the end of worst case scenario 8 years, he'll be on the way out, and she can just inherit the Trump empire, or what's left of it. But
After all the lawsuits, like, she'll get like, okay, cool. Well, this wasn't worth it.
oh my god, I've got all these fucking days in court. I don't
Yeah.
have time for this. I'm going back to fucking Slovakia. Fuck it.
You know what? Fuck. I'm just going back to being a farmer. I don't know what she did before. That was...
I'm not sure either. I know it's a small,
might have been a little racist, sorry.
it's a small
but-
Slovakian upbringing. It's not a big city life or anything like that. That's about all I know about it. But this tantrum specifically is... So North Korea launched projectiles this week.
Yeah, towards Japan, right?
Yeah, not the first time they've done that, but the most recent time they've done that. And
Yeah.
Trump's real quick on the fucking Twitter finger here to give them a shout out.
Condemn... Well, oh, wait.
I know, right?
Shout out?
Like, not condemn them. You were hoping I would say condemn them, but no, that's not what he did. He gave Kim Jong-un a shout out that, like, he knows what's good for his country and economic prosperity within North Korea if they want to join the world. Like, all this fucking nonsense that I think we had mentioned this.
So he was like saying like, okay, yeah, like, hey, yeah, you totally want to go this route. But it's not like he like super supported him or anything, right?
No, he did.
Oh.
Like, a little too much.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Just a total shout out. Like, hashtag...
The fuck?
Hashtag Kim Jong-un is cool as fuck. It was pretty fucking pathetic. It's that's kind of what got us into this first tantrum, is that transition of, like, idolizing other dictators. And so he's doing that.
Oh, yeah.
He's on that dictator idol.
So you're telling me that fucking North Korea launches projectiles at Japan,
Yes.
and our president decides that that's a great time to not only praise but offer his support?
Yes. That's what I'm telling you. That's exactly what I'm telling you, actually. I know. It's a little hard to believe. But in the state of affairs that we're in right now, like, what... It always. I'd like to say like it gets worse before it gets better, but it just keeps seeming to get more worse.
But I don't even know how to respond to that.
I understand too. There's no good
What?
way. There's no positive takeaway from this because, well, you and I were talking about this a little bit before the podcast. That, like, what's North Korea gonna do when the American president praises and fucking idolizes their leader like this? Like, what's their route? They're fucking state run. They're all the way.
Well, obviously, right now it's full bore. That I mean, it was tweet, right?
Yeah, it was a tweet.
Because these are tantrums, so large majority of them are tweets. So I'm gonna guess that tweet is probably gonna be plastered over. I mean, it's probably wallpaper in like every city hall.
Yeah. Now,
You know?
like as of now, this happened fucking less than 48 hours ago. And it's
Yeah.
probably already.
It's all over the state media, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have this oh yeah, like the headline of the Pyongyang. That's what the Pyongyang Times, I guess. I don't know. Pyongyang
I'm sure they have a
Times.
newspaper.
Yeah, the Pyongyang Times is fucking American president so fucking amazed by fucking launching of projectiles that he offers full support.
Right. And I'm not even sure he knows the implications of giving like positive reinforcement to things like that. He probably doesn't. Like, he doesn't think that far. He doesn't think far enough ahead. Like, he probably doesn't think past the bottom of the bucket of chicken in front of him.
Well, let's face it, motherfucker eats fucking well done steak with ketchup.
Ugh. Dude, don't remind me of that. You're the steak master.
No, look, the fact remains is if there's anything that any red-blooded American should do is fucking fully denounce this fucking president for the way that he treats steak. Because those are delicious fucking steaks that are going in the White House.
Oh, it's probably the very best meat.
exactly.
Just the very best cuts that are getting cooked to a
Brutalized.
fucking crisp and fucking leather fucking texture. Like, you're either medium rare or more rare than medium rare, or you're fucking steak up, in my mind.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah.
It's brutal. He also eats what? McDonald's on a regular basis.
McDonald's, fucking Burger King, KFC, fucking, come on, man. The United States president eats fast food more than I do, and I eat fast food, like, on a fairly regular pace. I'm not happy about that case,
Yeah.
making a,
It's a guilty pleasure.
yeah. But you're the president, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
You have your own chef.
Yeah, you could have lobster every day. Or medium rare steak every day. Get it together. Are you stupid? Oh, what am I saying?
Yeah. Let's not go there.
What do we got next on
All
the
right.
tantrums?
Moving right along, we have his super huge outlash against apparently the banning of conservative voices.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
They're being silenced.
They are being silenced. It's so terrible that all of these hate mongers are being fucking quashed from Twitter.
Right. So who was it this time?
This time it was James Woods, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what he said. What did he say?
I think it was a few different things. It was I know that the hashtag hang 'em all was in there.
Oh yeah,
In reference to sort of liberal.
If you're going
liberals.
to kill the king, make sure you you strike true or something like that.
Make sure you don't miss. Something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
make sure you don't miss.
It's like an often reused line out of some movie or play somewhere, and
Yeah, it's a quote.
Kind of recycled it.
It's a quote from some author or something like that.
yeah,
But it's pretty apparent. Like when you use hashtag hang them all.
yeah, like hashtag hang them all. If that's something that you want to get trending, dude. Yeah, sorry, you are propagating hate speech at this point.
Yeah.
And that is in the big long terms and conditions that no one's going to read on the Twitter thing. You're just not going to do it. But most of us just don't do that anyway. That's not in our playbook anyway.
Yeah, no, that's usually in the GOP playbook.
yeah, the hate
Is to like hate against others and put down others, which surprise surprise, like for some reason, like relatively neutral. I don't want to say completely neutral on the Silicon Valley part. Yeah, they tend to frown about that.
Yeah, and I guess in my mind it's their platform. Like Zuckerberg or Jack Dorsey or whoever it is, like owns this thing or majority stake in this thing, whatever we're calling this thing, this Twitter or this Facebook or whatever this application is.
Platform.
Yeah. Yes. Zuckerberg, if he's the guy, or Jack Dorsey, if he's the guy, yeah, he can kick you off his fucking platform. It's basically you're being unfriended by the guy that runs the motherfucking company.
Yeah, you were unfriended by everybody. Sorry.
You're a dickhead, and you're saying terrible shit. And the person who owns the thing gets to dictate whether or not you have anything to say on it. Sorry, don't say fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Try
not to restrict other people's rights.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's all you really have to do. You can say whatever fucked up shit that you want on fucking Twitter. Pretty much.
Yeah,
there's
kind of the Wild West.
There's very few lines that you can cross to get banned.
Right.
And usually it's like inciting violence on others. Like hashtag hang them all.
Yeah, dude.
Like, dude,
I don't want to hear your fucking crybaby fucking sob story when you say hashtag hang them all.
We all know what that implies.
Yeah, we're not silencing conservative voices. We're silencing hate speech.
Yeah, exactly.
And Trump tweeted that like he's keeping a close eye on the tech giants. In
We're
Silicon
gonna
Valley.
look into it.
Yeah,
we're
like,
gonna look into all this fucking. Dude,
sort
he
of
went
fucking
off,
beating that bush that like, as if he has the power, or the FCC or anyone else has the power to wrangle Silicon Valley and give free speech equally even to hate speech. That's, let's face it, to the millions. With this hang them all nonsense. So they can go fuck themselves as far as I'm concerned. They're not silencing conservatives. Conservatives just don't have as much insightful, fucking thoughtful conversation to bring to the table. So,
they don't.
That's why it gets less retweets and less shares. Like, that's just why that happens. We visited that before.
Exactly. Well, let's move right along.
Yeah. What do we got now?
Well, we've got a very, very special tweet from the Grand Chief, and it's I've done more for firefighters than any dew-sucking union has ever.
Yeah.
And I get paid $0.
Yeah.
And let me just say, this is like a long fucking tirade that he's going off on Biden.
Yeah. This was a clear jab at Biden. This tweet
Of course it was. I mean, and he goes off on Biden for like, I mean, how many tweets are we at now? Like 13 or 14 against Biden.
Well, we didn't check before the podcast, like immediately before we press record, so it's probably
it's probably up because it's like, every couple hours, because old boy's scared of Biden.
I smell fear. Yeah, I smell the fear. Yeah, so Biden said the other day, like, I'm sick and tired of this president bad-mouthing unions. Like, unions are good. 40-hour work week, overtime pay, sick leave, maternity leave. Like, these are all things that unions around the country, every fucking where, have strived and worked very fucking hard to get the workers they represent.
Yeah, the whole 40-hour work week was literally fucking made by unions.
Yeah.
Unions have a place in this country because it's the workers gathering together.
Yeah, that's another example of out of touch, I think.
Oh, yeah.
For conservatives, sort of in the broad strokes, and especially this president, because this dude's never worked a hard day in his life.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even know
I'm not
what
surprised
that is.
that he's got a negative viewpoint of unions, because like if you ever had to deal with unions, he had to pay them a fair wage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, like
And there's
shit,
no way around it. You don't just tie that up in litigation and never pay.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to fucking do it until you agree to these terms and conditions that they're asking for. So
Exactly.
I guess yeah, I sort of see where he's coming from. While I vastly fucking disagree with it, but unions, man, come on. That's where I don't understand the Trump support from the working class America. It's like a lot of these people are union workers, or at least some pretty significant portion. And he shits on unions all day. And then you're gonna fucking take the thing that's going to make your work life better. Give me the thing. Just hand it over here.
Yeah, no, I got it.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And you're gonna shit on that whatever that union based thing is, and as if the entire union's some fucking zero sum game fucking thing that we can't both win at. Like, unions can win and the corporations can win too.
Right. I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
That's straight out of Trump's playbook though.
Well, yeah. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I don't know. It's well, what did he say exactly? He said, "I get paid zero." Really, all he was doing was complaining about not getting paid.
Yeah.
For all the fucking money that he didn't fucking, like, he made them a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And he didn't get paid.
Yeah,
that's kind of like a, I don't know. That's a greater analogy for his entire presidency.
It has me thinking that somehow Trump thinks that this is some sort of merit-based fucking system where the good you do, you get rewarded for. And he's done very, very little. I'm not going to take everything away, but I'm going to take almost everything away. You know? And the very little good he has done is probably somehow by accident. Like, he accidentally signed something that he wasn't supposed to. But
Or he's just riding off the coattails of the economy.
yeah.
For whatever that it is. You know? But yeah, the fact is that, like, this dude, he doesn't really understand the economy. He doesn't really understand anything at this point in time. It's completely fucking apparent in this next tantrum that we have, which is the fact that the total transparency slash the most transparent fucking transparency that you could ever transparented in an administration would have somehow, some way, will not let McGahn testify.
Yeah, they're gonna. He's pulling the executive privilege here with Don McGahn, who was there for a lot of the misdeeds, I think, of the.
Well, when you have the front runner, you know, the guy that's like literally there for every fucking like quasi illegal bullshit that goes on. And McGahn has shown to being pretty fucking truthful. So like you get him up on stage and like he speaks the truth. Yeah, it's a bad time for Trump. Which is the reason why he's not fucking doing it.
And that's an argument I make to a lot of conservatives that I talk to, is even in some scenario where I don't even really know anything about Don McGahn. What I do know is that as of right now, lies told to me are like 0 of 0 that I know of. But Donald Trump, we were hitting on this a little bit. We talked about the Washington Post lie counter thing. He just hit 10,000 at 2.5 years in office. Like, this dude has lied to us 10,000 times, and I'm supposed to somehow believe that Don McGahn's going to get up there and lie to me about the misdeeds of the Trump administration?
Right? How many... Good Lord. Let's see. 10,000. How long has he been in office?
Well, it's May, and he gets in January, so 2 years, 4 months. That would be 28 months in office right now. God damn it, that sounds terrible, because that means we have a long ways to go.
28 months?
You could break this down into lies a month, lies a week, lies an hour, lies a minute. And I have a feeling that none of those are going to bode well for the administration.
It's 12 lies a day.
12 a day. And there's a lot of days where he just doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he won't be
12 lies a day.
He won't be silent on Twitter, but for the most part, in front of a camera, you're not going to hear from the guy. There's rarely a day where he's silent on Twitter. It's his bread and butter.
God damn.
Where you shot it from the rooftops, the no collusion, enemy of the people, witch hunt, all the things that Trump says non-fucking stop.
12 lies a day.
12 a day, dude. So that's what? There's 24 hours in a day. That's a lie every 2 hours?
Every 2 hours he lies.
Another lie every 2 hours. By the time we finish this podcast, he will have told another lie.
God bless America. Well, let's move on to the main goddamn story, because that is depressing as fuck.
I hadn't broke it down in the numbers yet until just now, and yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
A little less. It doesn't hit as hard when you say 10,000 total lies as 2 lies every fucking 4 hours. Or what is it? Fucking a lie every 2 hours, rather. Like, that's like, whoa. Every 2 hours? You're telling a lie here? Come on. Good reason to go to the main story, though.
Yeah.
What do we got going on in this beefy bastard this week?
Well, let's start a tale of a man named Barr.
Mm-hmm.
Barr. A sketchy history.
Trademark.
Yeah, we're definitely going to write a book about this. So, Barr goes back, way, way back to, when we were only like wee little lads back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And, this motherfucker has had a certain history that I think is very, very, very important to nowadays.
Right.
Specifically, when he was in the Office of Legal Counsel.
The OLC, as we're going to
Yes.
refer to it here.
And there's a certain person that they were going to go after. And do you know that person's name?
What?
Nicar... Nicaraguo?
Manuel Noriega.
Noriega.
Yeah, Panama.
Yeah. So he wrote an OLC opinion that basically set a quote-unquote legal precedent to arrest him in a foreign country when said foreign country didn't know that law enforcement officers or whoever was there were there to arrest him. They had no knowledge.
So just complete
Black bag.
stampede of sovereignty.
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like to me.
Full-on stampede of sovereignty. Yes, 100%. You
Wow.
are absolutely correct.
Okay, so yeah, I've read a little bit about this this policy that they set in place to just kind of make it legal to kind of grab people wherever you need, in whatever area of the world
Yeah.
you needed to just grab people
Just
and get them.
black bag people. It's cool.
Yeah, get them out of there.
Yeah.
Fucking- you're under arrest. And Miranda rights. What are you, fucking nuts? We don't do that shit. You're coming. You're getting on the plane, and we're gonna take you somewhere and do what we need to do.
So, funny thing about that is, right? This whole fucking paper that he wrote that said that was totally cool and legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that the Justice Department at the time said was also cool and legit. Yeah. Well, turns out it got leaked. Somebody fucking caught wind of it, and they're like, dude, what the fuck?
That's not legal.
You're rolling into Panama and fucking stealing people?
All right.
Dude, no. And like, oh, no, everything's fine. Trust me. And Congress got involved. And he's like, no, everything's fine. Trust me. Here's a 13-page summary of what I had said in my report.
Wait a second. A Barr summary?
Yeah.
So Barr
Weird. Sounds familiar, right?
Barr summarized something
Yeah.
before now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they took it, and nothing really happened. And, an Iran-Contra deal happened where Barr was like, hey, yeah, just go ahead and let those guys that, funded the Nicaraguan death squads, just let them off. I highly recommend that you do that.
Pardon's
And so that's
probably in order.
Yeah, so Bush did that. And mostly because,
George H.W., right?
yeah, George H.W. Mostly because, if George H.W. hadn't pardoned them, he would have, started getting involved in that.
Little bit of implication.
A little bit of
Doesn't need to
implication.
be implication.
Yeah, so he decided that it was probably in his best interest to
Yeah.
pardon. So, like I said, cover-ups. So this guy, fucking, he gives them a 13-page report. It puts him off for enough years for him to no longer be the Attorney General.
Or have to answer for any of this. Okay.
Or have to answer. Yes,
I kind of see where we're going here.
I.e. So it's not until the Clinton administration, when Democrats take over again, that they actually release the said document that he quote-unquote summarized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it turns out it was completely and utterly false.
Yeah, I think the article we were talking about referred to it as a crock.
Yeah,
The
a full-on crock.
This 13-page fucking summary.
Was a full-on crock. Yeah.
Full-on
a
crock.
13-page crock is what it was.
Yeah. So let's put this into context a little bit. I guess Barr, long storied political history here, but before Deputy Attorney General in 1990 to 1991, he held lower offices within the Department of Justice. He's always sort of been, quote unquote, a lawman. if GOP members followed laws, a lawman, but they fucking don't. So not a lawman. So Deputy Attorney General from 90 to 91, and then Attorney General. So I didn't know this. I had heard, but we really had to look into it to kind of get these details. But I didn't know that this was his second stint as Attorney General.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the William Barr, the Attorney General repeat.
I thought we had talked about that in one of our podcasts, but I guess we didn't.
Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe I dismissed it or thought, I don't know. But he was the Attorney General under George H.W. from 91 to 93, at which point a lot of the stuff you just outlined went down in a way that is a little more shady than we would like.
Because mind you, like, that whole fucking opinion thing that he released that was secret wasn't released until like 95.
Yeah.
Way after he was out of fucking office.
Off doing something else.
Not running. So like that shit that he released was no bueno.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah, so a few things to sort of unpack here. Fast forward fucking 26 years.
Before we fast forward, it should be noted that this is the same motherfucker that actually sent up a memo to Bush to completely exonerate 6 fucking people.
Oh yeah,
in said Iran-Contra
the
deal.
pardons that you mentioned.
Yeah. I want to stress this a whole lot because that's really, really key.
It kind of needs to be hammered in a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, it really shows the whole, like, party over country.
Yeah,
the
like
POC thing that
we think that
about.
this is a new thing. This party over country thing is a new thing. But here we are in this podcast talking about in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And the GOP has already reverted to a type of, not as bad as the state of affairs we're in now, but still a bad sort of practice or precedent to fucking start getting your feet wet in,
Exactly. All right. Let's fast forward.
So yeah, fast forward to about now. Not exactly today, but about last year, Barr wrote a memo, unsolicited. No one asked Barr to write a memo. At this point in time, Barr's a private citizen. He's just a dude, just a guy with money that's always been involved in Washington, but isn't at the time. Wrote a 19-page memo completely denouncing the entire special prosecutor investigation and every reason why it would be warranted.
Weird.
And how it's not. In his mind, and how it's not, specifically. So kind of basically the cover sheet of his resume, I think is what this was.
This was for sure. Because, let's face it, man. Why else would you come out of fucking nowhere and send a quote-unquote public memo, which for some reason he couldn't do while he was a part of the OLC.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know.
But this whole public memo coming out and basically blasting the whole fucking investigation.
Yeah. Delegitimizing everything that Robert Mueller had been, at this point, working hard on for over a year.
Yeah. And then completely and utterly reinforcing the presidential power.
Oh,
which, surprise, surprise.
Wonder why you got chosen to be the next Attorney General.
It will still baffle me.
It's like
long into my twilight years.
You'll always wonder.
Because I will always wonder, how did he get that?
I don't understand it. I'll never put the pieces together. How this dude got this specific appointment as the ranking law enforcement official of the United States.
Exactly.
Come on. So here we are. He fucking writes this memo, okay? He gets early 2019, he gets appointed Attorney General and confirmed in the Senate, okay?
Okay.
Obviously, Jeff Sessions recused himself, and so there was a good, hard need to get an Attorney General that was not recused of the Russia investigation.
Obviously.
For the administration, right?
Well, yeah, because, shit was going to come out soon.
Yeah. So we have a very specific set of dates and times that sort of line up here in this, what is the very fucking juiciest part of this main story.
Do you want me to hit it, or would you like to?
No, go ahead, man. Actually, it's very specific, so.
All right, so March 24th, we have Barr releasing his 4-page report. 4 pages.
For
4 pages of fucking garbage.
what was the Mueller report?
Like
448
we
or
have 448, I think. Yeah.
summarized mode?
So yeah, 1 page 100
Yeah.
per 100.
Okay.
Which should be noted that after everything was said and done, thanks to the testimony that we'll talk about at the end of this, Barr never reviewed any sort of underlying evidence whatsoever.
Yeah. The
is-
top cop.
Yeah, top cop.
The ranking law enforcement official of the United States didn't review the evidence.
So March 24th, that's what happens. Okay. Well, March 25th, Mueller sends a letter and is like, hey, maybe you should send out some introductions and some sources. And, he offers suggestions to the fucking bullshit letter that he fucking produced.
Yes.
Mueller was not pleased, and he wanted to fucking
Well,
some modification.
Well, for good reason, right? Because
Well,
it's clear now that the Mueller report's out that 4-page summary was kind of
a bold-faced lie.
yeah, a lot like the total crock that the memo that we talked about before was.
Yeah.
Like, kind of a redo of that, but in an even more summarized, less factual document.
Yeah. It's like history repeated itself or something weird. Yeah, it's almost like he was hired to do this.
No, you're blowing my mind, Jay. You're blowing my mind.
Oh no. So where are we at? We are at right now at the 25th, right?
Yeah, Robert Mueller sends a
Mueller
letter.
sends a letter and it's like, hey, bro, you should probably at least relieve some sources and stuff like that. We haven't seen this actual letter yet, but that's what was quote unquote reported as saying. Mm-hmm. But the 2 days later, March 27th, the report that did get leaked earlier this week, Mueller fucking throws down like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, this thing is fucked. This is not how we fucking, everything that we presented, you presented it in the exact opposite way.
Yeah, like a basically bro WTF letter.
Yeah.
Because it's worth also, I think we've said it on the podcast before, but it's worth noting that they're friends.
Yeah.
Barr and Mueller aren't they know each other. They're not like work acquaintances. Those guys are sort of buddies of sorts.
Yeah. They drink beers probably like you and I do.
Probably. But this buddy of William Barr thought it useful and good use of his time to not send one letter, but send 2 letters.
Dose.
Yeah, 2 letters to his buddy to say, hey man, I don't know what you're doing over there, but I wrote 448 pages, and I don't think that your thing lines up with my thing, and I think you're confusing people by spinning it this way. Like, just like, not being political about this. I'm just saying, like, your thing doesn't represent my thing at all.
Exactly. That is like, I could not explain that better.
Yeah. So where are we at now? We're at the 27th. Mueller sends his second letter.
So it's funny that you say that, right? Mm-hmm. So after that, he calls him.
Phone call mode.
Phone call. And
so that's like, buddy mode.
So here's the funny thing, right? Those phone calls aren't recorded.
Right.
So you can say whatever old boy said as whatever you want.
He said, she said type of...
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, it's, it's couple. It's he said, she said, it's, what do they call that? There's a word for that.
Is it plausible deniability?
Maybe.
I guess I'm thinking...
Either way, point is that, like, he says that, like, Mueller asks, like, hey, like, what's going on with this? And so he's like, oh, well, I mean, like, I'm doing everything right by the book. Because that's how conversations go. Mm-hmm. And so he asked Mueller, is like, was there anything wrong with how I summarized it? And Mueller said, no, completely not. Everything was perfectly fine. In a robot voice.
Yeah. Insert robot voice here.
Yeah. And then in a very Trumpian fashion, he was like, is there something wrong with how the media reported it? And of course, in a very Trumpian fashion, Mueller was like, oh yes, the media completely fucking dissuaded it into saying that Trump was not innocent.
That's why I'm calling you instead of going on CNN right now.
Yeah.
In this fucking Trumpian robot world that we're living in for the brief moment here.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucked, man.
Like, I know what you're stepping in.
I know Mueller's a Republican. But I don't think he's a corrupt Republican. You know?
And we gave him, I think, a reasonable amount of shade last week with after the findings of the report and our whole rundown of the report. And we can forever say what we want about the report, but bottom line here is that the 4-page and the report don't line up, and not a little bit. Like, they don't fucking line up at all. The 4-page specifically states that Trump was cooperative and fully cooperated with the investigation the entire time. And now we know from the Mueller report that that's not the fucking case at all. Trump tried at every turn of this investigation to either derail it, completely stop it, i.e., fire James Comey, or ask McGahn or fucking Rosenstein to fire Mueller on multiple occasions, or fucking investigate someone else. You should look into Hillary. You should definitely look into Hillary.
But I don't understand
how
this is...
We're still on Hillary, and it's 2019 right now. I know. It's making me crazy.
Like, it blows my fucking mind, man.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, it's very troublesome. It's very, very troublesome.
Super.
So, but he kind of got himself all tangled up in this mess, and he's a seasoned vet of tangled up messes and memos and fucking
he's no stranger.
Summarizations of things that don't or completely mischaracterize what they actually are.
But see, here's the thing, right? Like, when you get in the dance, the Trump dance, so to speak, you can only dance so much before you release, like, something.
Yeah.
And this was the case that caused the whole issue that Pelosi brought up.
Yeah, and this is hot. This is hot right now. This is like fresh.
Yeah.
More to come probably in the podcast soon to come.
So he straight up lied because he wasn't specifically aware of any concerns whatsoever in the Mueller campaign about what was going on.
Right.
And he was asked by a Democratic Republican or a Democratic senator.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on April 9th, right?
Right. Well, this is where the timeline really comes into play.
Yeah.
Let's just, quick reminder here. Letter on the 25th, right? Another letter on the 27th, both from Mueller, to Barr.
Yeah.
A phone call between William and Barr on the 28th. And
Yeah.
now we're talking about, you said April 9th, testimony.
Yeah, it's not very far away. So he can't use the standard GOP, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because that was literally only a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, where do we stand now, bruh?
Yeah.
Because at this point in time, it looks really, really shysty for you. Because it sounds like you're lying. And in fact, that's exactly what Pelosi said.
Yeah, he lied to Congress.
You lied to Congress.
Yep.
So he might be held in contempt of court or Congress. Contempt of Congress,
Yeah.
I think is what it is.
Yep.
Not contempt of court. But yeah, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think the specific line of questioning you're talking about here from the Democrat was Christ, and he asked, like, what did Mueller think about your report? And shady fucking dude that this isn't his first attempt at lying in front of Congress or his first attempt at fucking being a shady ass GOP asshole. Fucking, what did he say? He said fucking, you'd have to ask Robert Mueller. After he just spoke with Robert Mueller, what, 12, 13 days ago?
Yep.
And received 2 letters from the man a few days before that.
I
And
wasn't
he
specific-
pretends as if he doesn't know what Robert Mueller's feelings are about this issue.
Yeah, I wasn't specifically aware of any of any sort of concerns that the team had.
As of April 9th. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking sneak around, beat around the bush, don't answer the questions, split hairs every fucking chance you get. Get the fuck out of here, man. This dude's exactly like Trump, and he's exactly like Trump in, for them, the best kind of ways.
Oh yeah, completely.
Yeah, the only kind of ways that really work for you. And sort of why we outlined this in the way that we did, to sort of paint this picture that, like, this guy's perfect. And
Oh yeah.
if you're Trump, William Barr is perfect.
Oh yeah.
You
it
couldn't fit the bill.
It wasn't just his little fucking his little memo / resume. Mm-hmm. That wasn't it. It was his history.
Oh yeah,
It was his history at covering up shit that needed to be covered up.
mischaracterized reports before and advised on unadvisable pardons before, and
Yeah.
he's pulled the different types of triggers that eventually Trump's right now needed him to pull, but I think he's got himself up in a little mess here.
A little bit.
Especially with the Senate Judiciary Committee and Kamala Harris and fucking Senator Hirono, and they just got it. They're like, dead to rights. Dude, you're a fucking liar. You're a goddamn liar. We'd have to be fucking crazy to take you seriously. You're lying. Bad part about him is he's as we mentioned, he's a seasoned vet. It's in his first lie rodeo.
Yeah, no, he's hardcore fucking seasoned.
Yeah, he's been down the lie rodeo quite a few times now.
Yeah. Old Lie Town is his hometown.
Yeah. So The testimony, what did you think? So the Senate Judiciary Committee I just mentioned, that didn't. I don't feel like that went well for him, but he was a complete no-show in the House.
Oh my God. You know what I think is going to really happen?
What's that?
I think they're going to fucking subpoena him.
I'm kind of expecting that bright and early Monday morning.
I think that's best bet. If he goes against that, that's setting a new precedent.
Yeah, just
Because, like, it's... I don't know, man. Shit's getting crazy nowadays.
ignoring a congressional subpoena is like, okay, so you're breaking the law. But
yeah, exactly.
What do you do when the top law enforcement officer of the nation breaks laws? Like,
you have to have him arrest himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we never thought we'd have to get ourselves in this predicament. Like, Attorney General, take him in. Me? Take me in?
Yeah, no, I disagree.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah.
Surrender, you're being taken in. I'm going to take you in and give you some questioning, sir. We're going straight to the beer fridge and we're going to have ourselves some questioning today. You got some things to answer. Like, I don't know how that's going to go. I don't think anybody really knows how
If he was
that's
smart,
gonna go.
he'd, like, abuse himself.
Yeah, give himself a rough ride, so to speak here.
Like, I completely surrender innocently. All right. That's right. We're going to beat him up. And then, he beats himself up. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, I'm completely innocent. I swear, I'm not resisting at all. I swear.
A sort of Jim
And he
Carrey
beats
liar
himself up.
scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it might be. We don't know. Like, that far-fetched scenario you just outlined really isn't that far-fetched, and with the time and the place and the setting we're in here.
I think
Because it's fucking crazy.
I think an attorney general talking to himself and also beating up himself is probably not very realistic. But you never know, because this is Trump town and Trump world.
Not showing up to a congressional subpoena and
It's not very realistic.
breaking the law of the country that you are the law for, like the law,
Yeah.
the letter of the law.
Yeah.
That's not very realistic either, but I think that might be more likely than...
point. Yeah, I agree.
So it's yet to be seen, and I don't know. I look forward to fucking talking about it on the podcast later on the next weekend or in the...
I ain't gonna lie, man. If something pops up this week, we're not gonna talk about it, but I will.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's a little segue into later that we'll talk about at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think it's time for some happy science time, because this is getting fucking too deep and too fucking dark, and it's just making me sad.
We've beat this dead horse pretty hard.
Yeah. Well, we did a deep dive, man. That's our point.
Yeah. So, hope you listeners out there all left with a little bit more insight into who and what William Barr is after this.
TLDR, he's terrible. All right, happy science time.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to start this off because I like these little guys. So there's these little fucking shrimp creatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
That live in the Challenger Deep. I don't know if you know what the Challenger Deep is, but it's like one of the deepest points of the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
It's super fucking deep. And normal shrimp and what do you call it? Creatures with exoskeletons, they can't live down there.
Just too much?
Well, it's not that it's too much. Well, that's a part of it. But the biggest part about it is that It's too acidic. So they can go down there. But their exoskeletons, which are made out of calcium, because as you go down deeper, the water gets more acidic. As they go down deeper, their calcium in their exoskeletons leaches away.
Right.
So, it just so happens to turn out that these little crazy shrimp-like creatures have actually developed immunity to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's aluminum hydroxide gel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, how the fuck do they get this shit?
Well, so here's the thing, right? So, like, when they're, like, munching around in the silt at the bottom of the ocean,
Yeah.
you know, and they're, like, you know, just, they're doing their little shrimpy thing, shrimp-like thing, or whatever it is, and they're munching stuff. They ingest, actually, a lot of the fucking, metals and stuff like that. They're at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
And when they ingest it, because, genetics is awesome, the aluminum actually exports out to their skin, reacts with the deep ocean water, and makes aluminum hydroxide gel.
Huh.
Which completely coats the little shrimp-like creature, which not only protects it from the pressure, because like the gel is like, acts like armor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
The aluminum fucking reacts to it and like holds it back.
That's what I was thinking. It's like a miniature little suit of armor here.
But see, here's the thing. It also acts like a hazmat suit. So because it's so acidic, the aluminum hydroxide actually, is able to, protect the calcium shell of the exoskeleton of the shrimp.
Huh. And we're talking really deep here.
Yeah, like
10,000 meters.
10,000 feet, like Challenger deep.
Yeah, like the deepest depths that we know of in the ocean.
Yeah, the deepest depths that we know of.
Damn.
And the reason why this is important is because, we could possibly use this in the future. I mean, it works on a small scale for a little shrimp type creature.
Yeah.
But it could very well fucking translate,
Yeah, well, you think about that amount of pressure. There's no other...
It's insane.
There's no other place on the planet or in any kind of lab where you're going to simulate or even kind of exercise in that amount of pressure.
Exactly.
The pressure that exists at depths like that. So it's like the very, very harshest of environments on the planet. You already mentioned the acidity and then the pressure, and it's not warm down there either.
No,
It's
it's not.
super freezing cold. Combine that with the pressure and the acidity, it's like one of the harshest environments imaginable on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You might as well call it the moon.
Yeah, exactly. That might be even more livable than this. So, well, for them, no, but for us, obviously underwater. So,
Yeah. So, what do we have up next?
so this one's really cool, man. This one, this goes way back, like a little bit of anthropology here, which is one of those topics we don't really, I don't think really we ever have hit, and if we have, we haven't hit it hard. But so the people I'm going to refer to here are the Denisovans, and there's a jawbone of these people. They're humans, right? Found about somewhere in Siberia, and it's a jawbone fragment. They found this, I think, 10, 20 years ago, and have done all the genetics testing that you can do on this thing, and we're getting a lot of this science now. Well, they've recently found more bones that match the genetic profile that we're talking about of these Denisovans. And it turns out what these people are sort of a third branch of what people, Homo sapiens, we know we have Neanderthals and we know we have Homo sapiens, and these Denisovans are sort of a third branch, almost a third type of human that we didn't previously know about until very, very recently. And the most recent example that we've got here is in the Tibetan region of China. And specifically, this is going to play into the discussion here in a minute, but a very high altitude area.
Well, yeah, because it was in Siberia that we first discovered the Desinovans.
Yeah.
And that was the only location that we ever found them in.
Yeah, we kind of thought it was this isolated
group. Yeah, exactly. And turns out, like, actually 30 years before they found the Desinovan cave in the Siberia, there was this Tibetan that had actually found it.
Yeah, a monk, right?
In a cave. And I think he was a monk, or he was a part of the fucking, the enclave of monks, but he did give it to the spiritual leader. And the spiritual leader then gave it to scientists. And
Right.
It wasn't through, like, a networking type thing that they actually were able to figure it out. Like, oh shit, yeah, no, fucking, these are both Desinovans.
Yeah, just super awesome, because we're talking about, I didn't reference the time scale here, jumping into this conversation about these ancient, really, people, is we're looking at about 160,000 years back.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, most definitely.
kind of really opening our eyes up to what we were and where we were and who we were bumping into and when and where, kind of putting all those pieces together in the anthropological scale of things here.
Oh yeah, they were still around during the Neanderthals and stuff like that, while Homo sapien was around. And the funny thing is that, like, dude, like, humans, we're fucking horny, man, and we fuck everything.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, not only did we, like, interbreed with Neanderthals, but we also interbreeded with the Desinovians, which is why a large amount of the people that are around these areas where the Desinovians are found have that high altitude gene.
Yeah, the specific gene trait that's been passed down, like I just said, the 160,000 years ago, been passed down for that long to thrive, not only survive, but thrive in these areas that are super high altitude and super low oxygen areas.
Exactly.
Probably not the most idealistic, for when we all came from Africa, the plains of Africa.
Right. But,
areas like this are not-
environmentalistic, I mean, like, it fits evolution perfectly.
Yeah, and the way that we still have that today. Humans today are still carrying that gene around.
Well, we also carry genes around from something that's not really, like, as, like, cut and paste, like, or as apparent as, like, high altitude gene. We also carry around genes from the Hobbit creatures.
Yeah.
I forget exactly. It's like something floralis.
Yeah, so it's a Latin derivative
name.
fucking
Latin derivative name.
Impossible.
But we carry a lot of those same genetics.
Yeah.
And so really it just shows that, like, some of the first humans were, like, dirty sluts. We fucked everything.
We were getting around.
We were fucking the short little 4-foot hobbit people. We were fucking the Desinovians.
Yeah.
Who knows? They're probably tall and pointed with the ears. They're basically elves.
Yeah. So these nomadic tribes of us and Neanderthals.
Ancient history was nothing more than a fucking, J.R.R. Tolkien porn.
Yeah, just
Is basically what it was.
running around getting fucked and fucking
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And then let's
And that's
spread
how
the
I'm
genes.
gonna remember it.
See, it's a kind of a tantamount to drunken history or something there.
Oh yeah. Drunk History. That's
Yeah,
a great
drunk
show.
history. That's what it is.
Drunk History is such a great show.
It really is. It's a good show.
Yeah.
But what are we rounding this week's out for science here? What do you got?
To wrap this all up, we have this crazy new study, and I think this is like not only super, super important, but also like super, super foreboding, because you have a lot of people that like deal with ALS and deal with like strokes and other aspects that don't allow them to actually speak, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't even allow them to move, like, which is a horror onto itself if you think about it. Like, if you were fully
Mm-hmm.
functioning, but then you had a stroke and you can no longer speak, talk, or move,
Right.
or speak or move, yeah, that's
there's
fucking hell.
No fucking way to convey that, like, you're fucking.
Yeah,
got
I've
an-
got
you
an
you
itch on my nose.
Yeah, you got an itch on your fucking inner thigh. And
Yeah.
you don't know how to tell anyone that, and you can't do anything about that, and you just have to sit there and deal with this itch.
Yeah.
We've all been there when you can't fucking.
Or like a multitude of things like that.
Well, yeah,
so
that's-
this technology is actually what it does. It's speech neuroprosthetic technology, and basically what it does is it does the same thing that that if you were to have like a prosthetic arm. So they take basically a skull cap, they shave a little few parts on your head, and they measure your brain waves.
Mm-hmm.
And then they use the brain waves along with the neural networks that, require speech. And they specifically track those. Instead of if you were moving your arm, they would put on a neural cap and fucking specifically track the way that you move your arm.
Right.
Right. So you put on the cap, and then that's how they figure out exactly what brain waves equal voice.
What exact language in complete sentences too.
Yes, complete sentences.
Which is
and
even more
that's the
impressive.
craziest part
Yeah.
about it is. And here's my thing, it's moving along super, super fast, and this is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be very much time before people that were completely and utterly isolated no longer have this issue because they can speak.
Yeah.
But
you completely erase all of the people on the planet that didn't have anything to say, or did but couldn't have anything to say. Everyone everywhere that ever couldn't say something for whatever reason that is, whether that's ALS or a stroke or whatever the reason is.
Yeah, whatever disease that refuses to allow them to speak. I mean, this gives them that freedom.
Yeah. And most importantly, I think here, mimics what that person's voice would have been.
Yeah,
Because a lot of these people, especially with ALS patients, at one point in time were healthy individuals and could speak and had a voice, and it sounded like specifically something. And so this tech mimics all the movements of the jawbone, the lips, the tongue, the larynx.
Oh yeah, everything.
And makes the voice be what translates the brainwaves in a way that makes this voice be what it would be if the person could still talk.
Yeah,
What the fuck, man?
It's super fucking accurate.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they what they refer to it as a brain-controlled artificial vocal tract
Yeah.
think was like the most simplistic way I could find this described.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I read the article and like I realized that I could not translate to that something that like you could tell on a podcast.
Yeah,
without sounding like a technical manual.
Yeah, to be able to
wasn't
convey
possible.
this in a way that listeners will take and be like, oh wow, that's pretty fucking neat.
But here's the craziest part about that shit.
What?
Think about the use for normal people.
Oh, so what this can do for people who can't talk?
Telepathy.
Oh, dude. Those implications of the science world
Yeah.
that we always fucking hit.
Dude. Like, I mean, if they're able to do that shit, all it takes is wearing a fucking telepathy hat.
Just think it and convey it and transmit that in something like an LTE or broadband sort of signal, and then instant fucking to whoever else is on that network with you.
Translate it to a fucking dead drop or translate it to a fucking, anything really.
Yeah, the prospects.
Or fucking just be able to communicate. Because, if I'm able to translate to your fucking, Bluetooth headphones, we can sit there and we could literally talk without ever moving our mouths.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude.
We're both wearing fucking psychic caps. And the cap is reading our brain waves. And we're both wearing earbuds. We could literally sit here in silence and have hour-long conversations.
Yeah. Dude.
How crazy is that?
Oh, the future's gonna be so fucking cool, dude.
Oh, fucking yeah. Because then we could fucking sit in a car in complete dead silence while it drives us to the nearest bar as we're sitting there fucking chatting away like little chatty Cathys via the fucking mind wave.
Doing what we would be doing at the bar.
Yeah.
On the way to the bar in your self-driving car that you're having no part in control of.
Exactly.
Dude, take me to the future.
The future is here.
I'm ready.
Me too, man.
That's awesome. So,
that being said, I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, man, that's about it for the week. I think we got some news for the listeners this week.
Oh, that we do.
Yeah, we got a little change up here.
We got a little change because we have some alternating schedules. Mm-hmm. So what's gonna happen is don't freak out or anything, but J&T's Backyard Bowl is gonna go to a 2-week schedule right now. So every 2 weeks we'll release a podcast.
Yep.
That's just due to
the same thing you've been coming here for and been hearing week in and week out, but on a bi-weekly format. But we have a remedy for this, we promise.
Yeah. So we apologize for the hiatus that we had, and it was specifically due to these schedules that we couldn't really work around. But this is what our workaround is gonna be. So basically what you're gonna hear from us is during the midweek, be it once, twice, 3 times. It all depends on whoever's doing it at that point in time. You're going to get an update, whether it be from J or T. You are going to get an update, but
so you'll still hear from us.
Yeah, you'll still hear from
more
us.
than once in a 2-week period.
Oh yeah, to be honest with you,
because that's what we're trying to avoid here. Is
to be honest with
2
you,
weeks of silence and back
you're
up.
gonna hear from us more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
in the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of things, you'll hear from us a couple times during the week, And then every other week we'll do the podcast together.
Yeah, so we'll do a J&T, what you've been hearing on the podcast, bi-weekly, on a bi-weekly format. And so we're losing a week. We're 2 weeks a month here. But we're going to replace that with at least one solo podcast by either Jay or yours truly. And you'll still get the same amount of podcasts in a week, or in a month rather, if not more. About the same amount of content, if not more. And
Yeah.
we'll be able to hit, sometimes these things get a little stale when we get to it on a Saturday and it happened on a Monday. So we're going to try to alleviate that a little bit as well, I think. Yeah.
Be a little bit more hard-hitting in the news. And I ain't gonna lie, like, if I got the time, I'll be releasing as much as possible.
Oh, I know the summertime.
Because my summertime.
Yeah, your summertime schedule's looking good.
Yeah, it's looking pretty free and open, wild and free, so to speak.
Wild and free. Yeah, that
Trademark.
that's definitely a J trademark. But look for us out there. The episode titles may vary a little bit. We're beating around the bush with what we want to do with that. But,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Jay's afternoon orations.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking for myself, T's Twilight Tirades, but that sounds like I'm a little mad. But I might be, so it might work.
Well, yeah.
A lot of these times I am a little fucking pissed off.
How could you not be in today's age?
I know.
So, I don't blame you there.
Right? That being said, so the listeners know the path forward here.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I know you are too, so.
Me too. I won't have you holding me back no more.
Holding you back?
I'm just kidding.
You'll still hear from us, though, together. J&T together, bi-weekly.
Yeah.
So look forward for that.
Till I surpass him.
Just don't think we quit next week when you don't hear from us Saturday.
Yeah, no. You'll hear from us Wednesday. You'll actually hear from us more. If I have anything to say about this, there will actually be more J and or T that you get to hear from.
Exactly.
And that being said, it's been real, brother.
That it has, man. Look forward to it.
Till next time.